Breaking news coming out of Bradford City this morning is that club captain Richie Smallwood has turned down a new deal with the football club and will leave Bradford City upon the expiry of his contract next month. If you do want to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 200 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. For me, absolutely devastating news. I'm reading in between the lines a little bit. Maybe it's ended on a slightly sour note. Richie Smallwood put his own statement out about an hour before the club even said anything, and there was actually no article which leads towards Richie Smallwood. But obviously a massive player for Bradford City over the last 3 years, swept up at our Player of the Year awards for our promotion season, the club captain and most important player we saw in the 3 games that he missed. Defensively were all over the place, there were no organisation in that team. For me, this is a massive blow for Bradford City. So at 10:14 AM, Richie Smallwood put this statement out on his personal Twitter account saying, 3 years ago I made the decision to leave the Championship and join Bradford City in League 2. The objective was clear: promotion. It's taken longer than I anticipated, but together as a team we achieved our goal. In every single game I've given 100% for the shirt, for the club and for the supporters. We stuck together through the highs and the lows and we reached our collective ambition. I've been fortunate to win promotion with Rotherham United, Blackburn Rovers, Hull City and now Bradford City. This will mean so much because of the journey we've been on and the way we made it happen. My time at Bradford City is now coming to an end. My contract will expire shortly and the club has made the decision to not offer a renewal. We'll get back to that in a moment. I want to sincerely thank the fans for the unwavering support you've shown me and my family during my time here. I wish you nothing but success. Football is a transient industry. Players come and go, but the memories we create can last a lifetime. And then I assume, does that say Richie at the bottom? It does. Absolutely devastating. And then just after 11 AM, so what, around 40-50 minutes after Smallwood's statement, the club then tweeted saying Richie Smallwood will leave the club upon the expiry of his contract. We would like to thank Richie for his services and wish him nothing but the best for the future. 156 appearances, 7 goals, 13 assists, so many unwavering challenges, a brilliant footballer, especially in his last year with the football club. And like I mentioned a couple of times, this is such a big blow for Bradford City. I think you do kind of have to break Smallwood's time up at Bradford City into little sections. You look at his first season where obviously we reached the playoff semi-final, lost eventually to Carlisle with Mark Hughes as the manager. It was Mark Hughes who brought Richie Smallwood to Bradford City, and I wouldn't say in that season he massively shone out. I think particularly that year his set pieces weren't great, and because he was playing alongside Alex Gilliard, he did not really stand out because they were both kind of doing the same job, and when you've got 2 players doing the same job, obviously, you know, you're not going to get somebody to stand out as much as if one person was doing the same job, which Smallwood proved in his final season at the club. He was more than good enough to play that role on his own for a large part, because even when Alex Patterson came in, he was much more forward thinking than somebody like Alex Gilliard. So in his first season, he wasn't awful. Obviously Adam Clayton came in that January when we were playing the Diamond. He was actually playing left centre mid, and I certainly don't think that suited his game whatsoever. Obviously Smallwood's come out since and basically criticised Mark Hughes, you know, said his man management wasn't great, all that sort of stuff. And obviously he started out his second season at Bradford City, I would say, quite poor. I remember specifically that game away at Morecambe, I think it was the second goal when obviously they beat us 3-0. They had Derek Adams, we had Mark Hughes. I think it was the second goal where Smallwood basically just gave up, and at that point I think there was a lot of people who would have been happy not to see Smallwood play again for Bradford City, but he turned his career around. Obviously, towards the back end of Mark Hughes' reign, wasn't really playing too much. I remember the Tranmere away game, Smallwood was on the bench and he started Daniel Ugoke in midfield. I mean, that alone was a sackable offence. But then eventually Graham Alexander came in and Smallwood's game just massively improved. Alexander, I think, has mentioned a couple of times that he's tried to sign Smallwood previously at different clubs throughout the majority of his career because of how highly he does value him. And yeah, it's just such a shame that we're not going to see Smallwood in a Bradford City shirt. 3 years, so many memories, so many brilliant challenges. You look at that tackle away at MK Dons right at the start of the season. That for me is one of the best tackles I've ever seen. 20 goal contributions in 156 appearances. For a man who's, 34, 35 years of age to always be available. I don't think he picked up a single injury throughout his time at Bradford City. The only games that I think he missed were through suspension, or I think it was a game or two where he missed when I think his wife had a baby. So you got to give him credit for the way that he carries himself and the way, you know, he articulates himself to still at 34, 35 years of age to never be injured. Yeah, his game's not built on pace, so, you know, he's not really going to pull a hamstring, but he makes himself available, even potentially where, you know, you've got a bruise on your foot or, you know, something like that where you can play through it, but some players, especially in the modern era, might not necessarily want to do so. I think he was committed to the badge and he was committed to winning Bradford City promotion. He captained us to automatic promotion. Not many people can say they've done that. So a big thank you to Richie Smallwood for the last 3 years, specifically last season where he was absolutely outstanding. Yes, at times he still had his criticism. He still had people who didn't necessarily rate Richie Smallwood and thought we were a better side without him, but you look at the 3 games that he missed, you know, away at Swindon where he'd been sent off 2-0 up and we ended up conceding 5 goals in that one. Chesterfield away, ended up conceding 3 goals in that one. Notts County, we were leading that game, ended up losing it. Smallwood was a massive player for us. As soon as he came back into the side, we kept a clean sheet, we won promotion. And a big thank you to Richie Smallwood for his contribution and his service to Bradford City. And following at today's news then, obviously Richie Smallwood now needs to be removed from this graphic. So we're definitely going to need to go out now and sign another holding midfielder, because at the moment we've only got Max Power. Yes, we've got Tommy Lee and Alex Patterson, but they are more attacking midfielders. I think it was on Friday, the TNA put an article out and Graham Alexander said, I think it was Graham Alexander, it might have been David Sharp, I'm pretty sure it was Alexander, said we're closing in on our second signing. Could that be a holding midfielder? I think it was Peter O'Rourke reported we're interested in Dean Campbell. Obviously he's playing for Barrow and he's out of contract with them, so that one could be the possibility, but there's still plenty of time left in the window. It is a massive blow for Bradford City, but with pre-season starting in around 3 or 4 weeks, I think we'll certainly see a lot of business coming in the next couple of days or so. I also find it very interesting that Smallwood put his statement out at around 10:15. Have negotiations been going on this morning? Because surely they weren't going on yesterday on a Sunday. So I do think it is a little bit bizarre. Maybe all the players have had until June the 1st or potentially the 2nd of June to finish their negotiations and make a decision, and from that point you either sign the contract or you move on to a different club. And I look at all the players who are out of contract with Bradford City. Smallwood, for me, is probably the biggest blow if he was not to sign. Lewis Richards now absolutely needs to stay, but there's massive rumours of Stockport County. And I've not really seen much regarding Kieran Kelly, Sam Walker, and I assume Colin Doyle will stay as well. But absolutely devastating that Smallwood has left. It does now leave a massive gap in that midfield. Now, obviously, it has only been Smallwood's departure which has been confirmed. It's not been announced of where his next club will be. I certainly think he'll stay in the north, because I think just before he signed for Bradford City, he had the option to sign for Peterborough. They were obviously challenging at the top end of League One at that time, and he turned it down to come to Bradford City. So I think he'll stay around the Yorkshire sort of areas. He might extend slightly a little bit further to get a top-end League 2 club. I still think he'd be more than good enough to play in League 1, so it'll be interesting to see what the future does hold. But when eventually it does get announced that Smallwood has signed for a new club, this is what you can expect from him. So this season, played and started in 43 matches, only missed 3 games in the league this season, played near enough every minute in most competitions for Bradford City, even in the EFL Cup, FA Trophy, EFL Trophy. Smallwood played a lot and obviously only missed them 3 games through suspension, played just shy of 3,800 minutes, scored 2 goals, both of them being penalties, and did miss a further penalty away at Port Vale. Also registered the 3 assists in there, creating 4 big chances, averaging 1.2 key passes per game with a 76% accurate pass rate, which I think is pretty solid considering we're quite a direct long ball sort of team. In terms of his defensive stats, absolutely brilliant. 0.8 interceptions per game, 2.8 tackles per game, 6.2 balls recovered per game, and 2.2 clearances per game as well. He did commit 1 penalty offence, which was away at Walsall, and did seem very harsh at the time. He has a 60% successful dribble rate, so not awful on the ball, winning 56% of his ground duels and 58% of his aerial duels. For a midfielder who's about, I'd say, 5'10", he does win quite a lot in the air, and obviously did pick up a 9 yellow cards and 1 red card throughout his time at Bradford City. So whoever picks up Smallwood, whether it's the top in a League 2 or a fellow bottom end League 1 rival, I hope he doesn't go to like a Doncaster or a Port Vale. That'd be a massive blow for us, but I wish him all the very best. He's been a brilliant servant. Thank you for everything last season, Richie Smallwood, and yeah, it's such a shame that he's going to be leaving. Also, it does now beg the question, who's going to be the new captain of Bradford City? Based on the current squad, who would you like to see it be? Obviously, Alex Patterson wore the armband when Smallwood was suspended. Maybe Max Power's come in to be that direct replacement for Smallwood. But obviously Power's not played that much football over the last couple of years, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that one plays out. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there then for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 200 likes as I mentioned at the start of today's video, and we are also now on the road to 12,000 subscribers. Get your thoughts in on this news down in the comment section down below. For me, absolutely devastating, and we now need to go out and sign some real quality in that position and a number of other positions as well. Thank you for watching, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one.